Joining me now from Washington, D.C., president and founder of Speech First, Nicole Neily. Nicole, it's healthy to have equal protection under the law, under the United States Constitution. In fact, we're kind of guided by that principle. But it's not so healthy when you don't have equal protection on college campuses. And that's what you folks and a lot of conservative and Republican children, young teenagers, students in college right now, are all fighting together.
Right. The window of acceptable discourse on modern college campuses is very narrow, and it's very, very far left. And, universities are not, frankly, dumb enough to come out and outright ban conservative speech, Republican speech. Instead, what they do is they employ insidious policies where they ban offensive speech, they ban uncivil language, and it gives administrators this broad power to pick winners and losers. And strangely enough, it's often political and religious speech that is determined to be hateful. And so students are cowed into just not speaking altogether.
It's an atmosphere of intimidation, which shouldn't be occurring on college campus. Of all places to have an atmosphere of intimidation, you should have an atmosphere of openness and exchange of ideas. This is what college, I thought, is supposed to be about, at least one avenue of it. But there is a win for the First Amendment. And it comes recently in Wisconsin. At Northeast Wisconsin Technical College, a young lady there on Valentine's Day would make these heart-shaped valentines and write religious messages on them, and the school effectively shut her down, intimidated her and shut her down. She went to court and she won. And she won not a monetary gain per se, but she won on behalf, really, of all students at universities across the country.
Right, and it was hugely symbolic, like you said. It wasn't about damages. It was that she was brave. A lot of students don't want to be the person whose name is on a court filing, who have to go and stand up before a judge and explain what's going on. But she did. She knew that she'd face blowback, and the district court in Wisconsin said, absolutely, this is a violation of your First Amendment rights. We know exactly what's going on. The school was trying to be too cute. And you can't get away with it. And so it's, her name is Polly Olson. She's lovely. And it's thanks to her bravery that, it's basically a shot across the bow to a lot of other colleges. Think about doing this and you will face consequences.
It's a good shot across the bow. And this is your mission, to try and defend the First Amendment and free speech. Was there a moment in time that you can point to where these universities, these campuses took this radical left turn and began to intimidate voices of opposition? Is there a moment in time, or was this a gradual event?
I think it's gradual. I think it's kind of a perfect storm. I think there are students that are getting to campus who don't understand the First Amendment or free speech altogether. If you haven't learned civics education and the first time you hear about it is, well, this is why Richard Spencer can come to campus. Yeah, students are going to say, well, I think that's kind of a bad idea. So I blame civics. I blame universities for being really corporate, and instead of addressing problems, they'll create a department of no hurt feelings. That's not what schools are there for. Schools are supposed to help students pursue the truth wherever that may lie. And if a student is having a problem because their feelings are hurt, it's kind of preparation for the real world, right? You need to go out, you need to learn how to coexist with people who hold opinions different than you. But when you look at the shift over the past 10, 20, 30 years of administrators and faculty's political leanings, I think that also has an impact, as well as a concentration on intersectional studies and critical race theory, where we're told this is privilege, this is hateful, this is white people, this is male privilege, and so people are talking past each other. So I think there's a lot of factors. And yeah, it's really toxic these days.
Without a doubt, there's an overwhelmingly one direction on terms of the campus faculty and staff in terms of their political leaning, their ideology, and oftentimes they just shut it down. And unfortunately, sometimes it's reflected in the grades of these students, these brave students who actually stand up for, quote, the other side, which again should be encouraged on college campuses. And the best way for parents and students to fight back, in my opinion, and I've advocated on this program, is the power of the purse. You don't have to send your child to that school. You can yank them out of there, and if you're alumni, you can yank your money until they indeed adhere to this thing called the First Amendment. Nicole, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.